Here you go. We're doing a matching game. And here's a paper. Here's gonna get one. All you have to do is match the title with the quote.
I might spin this chair too.
Cherish. This class needs you to read the quotes and go one by one. Okay.
I was gonna. I was making sure I'm walking herself. Alright. Was it titles too? Or just like to the quote?
Do you say, let's look at number one and then go to it later?
When I get done, I'm gonna stop right now. I'm doing this for a class, my internship with Ms. Hutto. So let's get started. Alright. We are about to die, probably. Our best hope is the pulse knife in my hand. What book quote or book title do you think go with that quote? Alright. The answer is B, The Imposters by Scott Westerfield. Is that right to the change or it's wrong? Alright. Number 2. It is 2/3 ounce Rawlings composite. I feel the weight in my hands. What do you think the answer is? C. People who said C, you were correct. The answer is I am the weapon. Why
are your eyes so changing?
The temporary rose tattoo on his left bicep showed below his sleeve, but the slight bulge of the handgun in his shoulder holster was barely noticeable under his shirt. What do y'all think the answer was? E. Oh, no. People who said E, you were correct. It was Abduction by Peg Carrot.
That's what I had.
Alright, James is wrong. Alright, number 4. My sister is the memory hole. What do y'all think the answer was? D. Who said D? You're right. The answer is Bang by Barry Walker. Number 5. It has been 64 years since the president and the consortium identified love as a disease, and 43 since the scientists perfected a cure. What do you think the answer is? A. You're correct. Now, Delirium is a dystopian book. Know about this? The Compound is also a dystopian book. Bang is suspense, kind of thriller. Abduction, suspense and thriller. I'm the Weapon, action and adventure. And Imposters, we're going to say dystopian. These books have about, let's see, about 2 things in common. They're all very good, and they can be found at any library, any bookstore, anywhere basically. You can get them an audiobook, you can get them an ebook. Reading is important. Reading is how you make your way in the world. You got to read your checks, you got to read your statements, bank statements, or the bills. You got to read to figure out how to do your driver's license stuff. You got to read to get your car titles, get your house notes. Reading is important. If you can't read, if you don't know how to read, or you don't value reading, you're not going to get anywhere in life. Reading is so important. I just said it's really important. Teachers basically help you read and teach you how to read when you're little. And they want you to get excited about books, about learning. That's what school's for. And learning is important. Learning is just invaluable and important. For me, I'm doing my master's in library media. I want to become a librarian. to help people and children like you learn to read, be more literate, learn about the world through books. And I thank you all for helping me participate in this lesson plan that I helped develop and create for you all to stimulate your minds in doing a matching game and hopefully finding a good book to read. So thank you. We use Ms. Prentice's class, her first period, her second period, and her third period. And these are some of the students' answers. Can't really see them. Let me see the answers. The star-belly sneetches had bellies with stars. The plain-belly sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big. They were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. Sneetches. But because they had stars, all the belly star sneetches would brag we're the best kind of sneetch on the beaches. With their snouts in the air, they would sniff and snort. Will have nothing to do with the plain belly sort. And whenever they met some, whenever they were out walking, they would hike right on past them without even talking. When the stars belly children went out to play, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You could only play if your bellies had stars, and the plain belly children had none upon them. When the star-belly sneetches had frankfurter roast, or picnics or parties or marshmallow toast, they never invited the plain-belly sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near, and that's how they treated them year after year. Then one day it seems, while the plain-belly sneetches were moping and doping alone on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. My friends, he announced in a clear and keen voice, my name is Sylvester McMonkey McBean, and I've heard of your troubles, I've heard of your unhappy, but I can fix that. I'm the fixed-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you. I know what you need, and my prices are low, and I work at great speed, and my work is 100% guaranteed. Then quickly, Sylvester McBean put together a very peculiar machine, and he said, you want stars like a star-belly sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard. So they clamored inside. Then the big machine roared, and it clonked, and it bonked, and it jerked, and it burped, and it bopped them about. But the thing really worked. When the plain-belly sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon them. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all the same now, you snooty old smarties. And now we can go to your frankfurter parties. Good grief, groaned the ones who had stars at the first. We're still the best sneetches, and you're the worst. But now how in the world will we know, they all frown, if which kind is which, or the other way around? Then up came McBean with a sly wink, and he said, things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who. That's perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best sneetches on beaches, and it will all cost you $10 each. Belly stars are no longer in style, said McBean. What you need is a trip to my star-off machine. The wondrous contraption will take off your stars, so you won't look like sneetches, you have them on Mars. And that handy machine worked perfectly precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. With their snouts in the air, they paraded about, and they opened their beaks and they let out a shout. We know who was who. Now there isn't any doubt. The best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches without. Then of course those the stars were all frightfully mad. To be wearing a star was not frightfully bad. Then of course old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his star-off machine. Then of course, then on, as he probably guessed, things really got into a horrible mess. All the rest of that day on those wild screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machines they raced around and about again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money, they kept running through, until neither the plane nor their star bellies knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was what one, or what one was who. Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They will never learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. Buck McBean was quite wrong. I'm quite happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. The day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches, that day all the Sneetches forgot about stars and whether they had one or not upon theirs. The end. So what was the lesson? What did y'all learn about the story? You.
Everyone's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm. What else? How about you can't judge anybody for what they look like or how they act? What's your?
There's a lot of them say they don't judge them how they look from how they look.
Mm-hmm. What else? So how about McBean? What did he do? He just gave them stars, took them off, and continued around just to take their money, right? He was a con artist. He wasn't trying to help them, but in the end he did. He showed them that they're the same. Whether they have stars or don't have stars, they're the same species. They shouldn't treat each other different. They should what?
Treat them the same.
Yes, they should. And then, thank you for listening to me read. Hope you have fun.
Jake, take all of yourself and come here. I'm going to tell you what to do next.
This was probably-